Classic COD Zombies is embedded with horror, and that is definitely no big secret. From World at War all the way to Modern Warfare 3, Zombies has had some very big changes, especially in the aspects of when it comes to horror and how the player experiences the game mode. But I feel like it's very important to go back and revisit all those moments when Call of Duty Zombies just felt like Call of Duty Zombies. Now, needless to say, that's literally what we do on this channel every day. Because let's get real, COD Zombies doesn't hit the way that it used to back in the day, but I think it's important that we revisit the moments that make Call of Duty Zombies absolutely terrifying to play versus what it is now. And with that, I'm Actual Doctor, and we're going to be talking about the downfall and the history of horror in Call of Duty Zombies. So in order for you to get a good understanding of what I'm talking about, just listen to this.
Power levels critical. No power, weak.
Now, not only are these clips nostalgic, but they trigger a very deep-rooted horror aspect to them. And it is to say, music and sounds are quite ominous, and that brings me fear. While World at War did an excellent job within its Zombies maps of generating horror, I think the really big aspect is what our minds allowed us to expand upon. And that's to say that good horror is not just blood and guts, but it's allowing the player's imagination to run wild with future pathways of what could possibly happen. And since World at War was so bare bones and new, it really allowed players to take off in just these insane directions of theories. And going back to that, like, that's what World at War was. It was the start of the zombie storyline, and it allowed everybody to really think about what the horrors of this story could possibly be. Now, we could talk about the story forever, but I do want to hit up the gameplay because I think the gameplay is the most important factor as of right now to why Zombies was super scary. Now, I can actually sum this up into 3 concrete points, being the first, survival, followed by challenge, and then environment. So these 3 things really make up that horror aspect of Call of Duty Zombies. Now, survival is very simple. It's I get gun or zombie get me. And it's just as you know, throughout the Zombies experience, you can do different things to survive for longer, such as your perks, your pack-a-punch, your more powerful weapons, etc. So it kind of goes from there. But there's a unique and thrill and genuinely scary aspect of getting overtaken by the zombies, and that's where your survival fear instincts kick in. Now, I must say that I'm a little bit more biased towards round-based over like timed survival, but there are instances where timed survival has actually been effectively used, and it actually does generate some suspense or horror. A good example of this is on Mob of the Dead. When you're in the laundry room and you're trying to get the part for the plane and you're trapped within this room, you have a certain timer that you have to survive in an area, and I think that's actually a good utilization of building suspense. But the overall arching goal within Zombies is just to keep grinding rounds and get as high as you can, and whether that be round 1 or round 100, there's always a curve that you have to stay ahead of, otherwise the zombies will eventually overtake you. And with that, that's a perfect segue into challenge. Now, in my opinion, I think challenge is one of the key components that has completely killed the horror aspect within Zombies. At the end of the day, you can totally make the scariest Zombies map possible with pop-outs and different features like that, but if the challenge is not there and you have no fear aspect of dying, then what's the point? And we have to address the elephant in the room, which is the health system within COD Zombies. On World at War, it didn't really matter where you were. If a zombie got close to you, you were kind of screwed because they whacked you really fast. Versus nowadays on Cold War, a zombie could whack you so many times and it's like nothing's really happening. Now, you could argue that some zombies whack fast. For example, in BO3, like, you actually have some fast whacking zombies. It's just you have different things that'll help you out, like the shield or jug, which is 5 hits, and let's not to mention this stuff. I have the power! Because it's no secret that challenge really drives zombies, and it's no wonder that people got bored and started making a bunch of first room challenges because they needed that drive and that rush. And nowadays it's just really easy, where you can actually load up with not even a starting pistol. You can bring a submachine gun that has a clip of 71 bullets and be totally fine on round 1, and the zombies, they'll just be annihilated. It's really nothing. So especially in World at War and Black Ops 1, you were essentially naked when you very first launched into the game. You were just a pistol only and 500 points. There wasn't anything that you could really do to alter that besides progress and play the system's game. And I think we shouldn't sleep on the fact that the games got really easy in BO2 and BO3. First of all, BO2 was just like baby steps because you could get the locker or you could get the bank right away and just set your matchup. In BO3, like, once again, we really don't need to talk about how easy BO3 is because, dude, I have like 37 shopping frees, 25 perkaholics, 55 fire sales. Guys, I'm loaded. downloaded and I still have like 43 more liquid diviniums to use. Jeez, it's cake. And at the same time, other Call of Duty started throwing out nicer incentives for the players so the game was more casual. And let's get real, by making zombies casual is no big sin, but it can hinder the aspect of horror if you're really trying to go for that. But on top of this, if you have a map that is really hard to survive and it's a challenge, I think that's really going to reinforce the actual environment. For example, I'm going to put 2 images up on the screen. I want you to tell me which environment looks more rich and more detailed. But now I want to rephrase the question and ask you, which one is probably going to be more scary? Now we may have a dilemma here. Right now, I totally feel like a psychiatrist in the old days giving like an ink blot test to my patients and asking them like, hey, what do you see from this image? But with jokes aside, your answer is going to vary on your experiences with zombies. For me, I get more chills on the picture to the left of World at War's Nocturne Totem because it's just really bare bones and I remember the survival and the grit and the challenge of the map. Meanwhile, on the picture to the right of Cold War Zombies, it just feels too easy and the survival aspect was really simplified. I knew my health was high and I just knew that it was just pretty much a cakewalk to actually get through. In fact, whenever I play this map, I always get stamina up first before I get Juggernog, which, hey, that says something. I can also be a little crazy like that too. But my point being, you could have a map that is absolutely beautiful and have absolutely terrifying elements to it, but if the challenge and the survival aspects are removed from the map, then the environment doesn't really have anything to build off of. So for example, you could take Verrucht because it is a terrifying environment, which is a creepy asylum filled with like cadavers and creepy dentist chairs and everything that you can possibly imagine that would make something uncomfortable to be in real life. On top of this, if you add the components of the challenge and the survival of Verrucht, it really amplifies that environment and just brings urgency for players within the map. Now, if you are talking horror, like we can't sleep on World War II zombies. I know I played, Call of Duty Zombies since World at War all the way through Cold War, but guys, like you can't sleep on this game because it actually is scary. There is a survival component and there is some challenge to it, and the environment is really freaky. Still to this day, the trailer for the Final Reich just still gives me goosebumps, and I actually really don't care for World War II zombies as much, but the trailer and the map of the Final Reich really just gives me the chills. Now, don't get me wrong, some games and maps have like tried to replicate that horror aspect and feeling, but it's not going to be as good as it was back in the day unless you revisit the themes of survival, challenge, and obviously the environment. Because let's get real, there are some certain things that happen in zombies that make you go, oh my gosh. So regardless of gameplay or the storyline, I will always love Call of Duty Zombies because it's just got such a unique formula to it. And I totally think it's okay to mix and blend some of these components together. At the end of the day, all I want is a really addictive game that I can keep playing over and over and over again. And I feel like COD Zombies does have that replayability factor to it. And the thing that is most important is what trips your trigger and what makes you want to come back for more. So if you made it through this video, it means 2 things. 1, you're really passionate about COD Zombies, or 2, you really just find this content interesting. And if you fall into one of those 2 categories, make sure to subscribe because this channel would totally be for you. Every day we post Call of Duty Zombies content and we are a fantastic community. I appreciate your support. Drop a like on this video and comment down below what you think, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.